Hey Royal Family, it's Cash Me Out. I am Queen Supreme, and I'm back at you again for another video on the Maleah Davis case. Now, some surveillance video has come out of Darion Vence, that being a neighbor's surveillance camera, and Darion was spotted with a laundry basket as well as a black bag inside. Now, allegedly, he returned with just some bleach, and they already had bleach. We're going to talk about that in this video. However, the mother, Brittany Bowens, has surfaced with activist character type. Many of you know, like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, yeah, that type. I'm not really familiar with the guy's name. However, he falls on the same grounds as Jesse Jackson or, that type of crowd. Now, I think it's important to remember that Maleah at this time is still missing, and Darion has allegedly disappeared, and it's believed that Darion is with his brother Joseph Vence. However, let's look into a little bit of what's going on with this laundry basket and black bag. Let's go. Exclusive surveillance of Maleah Davis's stepdad. In one photo, a man identified as Darion Vence is seen leaving the family's apartment last Friday with a laundry basket and a black garbage bag inside. The 4-year-old is still missing.
So let me go over some of it one more time. There is a video camera at the top of the stairwell that a neighbor owns. Police were able to recover the footage of that video. In that video, it shows the stepdad after mother had left the city. It shows the stepdad coming out or walking back into the apartment complex with a big bottle of Clorox that he had just bought. Then it shows him coming out with a bottle of Clorox, a big laundry bag, and a black garbage bag stuffed inside the laundry container that he was carrying out of the home. It was strange when he told the mother he was cleaning the house with Clorox, but there was no reason for him to be cleaning the house with Clorox. They already had a small thing of Clorox in the house, but he felt it was necessary to clean the house with Clorox. We know for a fact that police did take forensic evidence out of the apartment that indicates a crime took place inside that apartment.
Do you know the nature of that evidence?
I know that they tested for blood samples, human tissue samples. We also have a container inside the apartment that they left where they were testing for blood and luminol units. And it is true that they did find physical evidence. Also, let me be clear. We believe what started this was when the mother discovered him sending pictures of his private parts to another man. He was sending pictures of his penis to another man. The mother confronted him about it. He got angry. She wouldn't talk to him anymore when she left that day to go to Massachusetts. The mother told him that she was not going to return his ring, and that she was returning his ring. She didn't want to marry him. The mother informed him it was over, and he subsequently said some very disturbing things via text messages that the mother needs to share with law enforcement. And also, once again, the mother did confront him about physically whooping young Maleah when she was sick.
How was Maleah initially injured? Initially injured, where she's wearing that helmet.
I can't speak to that. I don't know.
Can Mom?
But we'll get to that. Mom needs to talk more with detectives, okay?
Well,
but let me finish. I'll take your questions. But there is issues of him physically abusing Maleah that the mom should have revealed to detectives. That at the point in time, for whatever the reason may be, she did not. But we need mom to do the right thing and tell everything she knows. And we need the truth about what happened to young Maleah to come out. And I do believe that she is the victim of foul play by the hands of the stepfather. With everything that was shared with me by the mother, and also the videotape upstairs that I'll show you afterward.
What if you guys she had an argument, why leave Maleah with him and go to the airport?
Can't speak to that right now.
Have any idea where he may be?
We believe that he's receiving family help and he's on the run. We believe he's receiving family help and that he's on the run.
Ma'am, I know you're hurting and you're grieving
She's
right
not
now,
going to say anything.
but we're trying to understand why you wouldn't bring this forward to police, these critical details, when your daughter is missing. I mean, that is a big question.
It's a big question, and mom's done a lot of soul searching right now. A lot of soul searching, but I've been involved in many of these cases like this. And I thank God it was shared with me so that we can help law enforcement increase and intensify now their time for a manhunt. No longer personal interest. This man needs to be captured. He needs to be arrested.
Has he tried to contact mom?
No, not at all.
When was the last time they had contact?
And he won't respond to any of her text messages. Won't respond to any. She's been trying to contact him for days with zero response.
When was their last contact with each other?
Last week, right when she came home. And shortly after she got back to the city is when he stopped communicating and contacting with the mother.
And Brittany, when's the last time you spoke to Maleah? When's the last time you talked to your little girl?
Listen. Mom is not perfect. She's made some mistakes. But mom needs to share this vital information I've shared with you with law enforcement. We believe it's time for a manhunt for the stepfather. Okay, all right.
So when do you plan on sharing these details directly
Today.
with police?
Now, I think it's important to state that Quanell is allegedly the new leader of the Black Panthers. Now, the reason why I feel the way I feel about him is because, or people like him, like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson, because they only come out when it suits them. There's children that go missing every day. Amber Alerts that go out pretty much every day, and you can't find these people anywhere. People get killed, or, you know, even black on black crime. Where are these people at to try to, you know what I mean, mediate and, you know what I'm saying, bring that positive vibe there? These type of people are opportunists. You see what I'm saying? Also, another thing, he came off very Umar Johnson-ist to me. Like, you know how Umar Johnson speaks in a very low tone of voice, trying to like convince you? That same thing was present there. He was very, I don't know, it was weird. I just don't really like that. I don't like when people try to talk to me all super calm. This is not a super calm situation. There's a little girl out here missing. We got a mother sitting here claiming that she, you know, like this just happened and she had no way of knowing that this man wasn't shit beforehand. And this is what the fuck we see all the time. Now, in this video, you're probably gonna see me be irritated because this is fucking ridiculous. Again, we got another dude taken up for a chick that allowed the dude that she was laying up with to essentially murder her child. Because I've known this since the story broke. That dude had something to do with it because I felt it in my body. Now, I've been showing you proof, things that don't add up since day one. You see what I'm saying? And for him to sit here and come here, oh, the reason why, you know, they were arguing beforehand because he had sent a picture of his private part area to another man. Then why the fuck did she leave her child there with him? You know what I'm saying? Now Brittany's trying to proclaim that she's some type of fucking victim in this situation. You knew that this man wasn't shit, and you allowed him to be around all three of your children and fail your daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'm not buying this shit at all. This shit got me hot, and I've been trying to be nice up until now, but this dude, like, every time somebody asked a question that was important or whatever, he just she's not gonna answer, she's not gonna answer. Like, what would make her feel comfortable talking to him? She don't know him, bro. Outside of this whole situation with her daughter, they've never talked before. I guarantee it. And all of a sudden, Quanell X comes out the woodwork like, hey girl, I'm gonna save you, I'm gonna help you. No, she should have been talked to the police. She shouldn't have needed to go talk to no Quanell anything. And in my case, in my opinion, I think the mom is ramping up for the court procedures to take place, because if this police department lets this mother just ride out with no type of responsibility in this case, then that's messed up. But I see that she will be charged just as well as Darion Vence in this situation. It's ridiculous. There's no reason why she's sitting up here playing the victim. Just days ago, she was on Facebook taking up for Darion Vence. Taking up for Darion Vence. Let me read that to you. Now, I think it's important to note that Brittany Bowen's Facebook name was Autumn Vence on Facebook, but it was also Bree, and both of these pages have now been deleted. But before it was deleted, she had went and put this as a status. The media is really pissing me off with how they are portraying Darion. Everybody wants to be a detective, but don't know the real ages of my kids and what day this actually happened. I keep reading how this story is not adding up, and it's not going to, because they took what they wanted out of what we told them. We spent almost 8 hours being interrogated, but not one piece of crucial information surfaced. They put us all in separate rooms, and I heard everything they were asking and what was being told to them. Left the part out about how they banged his head against the car, how he has a lot of deep cuts all over his body, how he was disoriented, said he was unconscious for 24 hours. No, he was going in and out of unconsciousness throughout the entire ride. Everyone want to say what they would have and should have done, but bro, no matter how hard one person could have fought, shit could have turned out worse. Him dead and my baby boy could have been gone also. I'm not feeling this shit, and the way it's going about, I'm not siding with wrong. Sorry, my kids love Darion. I'm sorry, but Brittany can go play the fucking victim to somebody else. She stated that before she left, she had found out that Darion had a dick pic that he had sent to another male, and you still left him alone in the house with your children. Bro, y'all in a whole argument. You didn't talk to your kids for days while you were gone, but your kids love Darion. I'm sure your daughter didn't like being abused while you were with Darion, right? Because the abuse ramped up while Darion and her were together. I didn't hear anything about abuse when she was with Craig Davis, the biological father of Maleah and her oldest son. But now we have this fake Quanell X running to her aid and playing the father role of this demon, in my opinion, because this goes way farther than this. She's gonna sit here and claim that she suffered abuse or whatever, but at some point in time, you gotta learn how to pull out from that relationship. If he's abusing you, it's not going to be long before he starts to abuse your children. And it's not an excuse to me. I'm not fucking buying it. I think she knows just as well of what happened, and I think it's important to state the actual timeline of what happened. So let's do that now. Now, Brittany originally left April 10th, and then she stayed a week, and then she left out on the 22nd back to Houston. Her dad died on the 11th of April. Brittany came back on April 30th, and her dad was buried on May 1st. Now, May 1st is the day that this video from the neighbor surfaced with Darion carrying this laundry basket. Brittany left back home 5'3", and that's when allegedly she wasn't picked up by her family. And that's what I'm saying. You obviously clearly left your daughter throughout the month of April with this man. And I think it's important now to also look at, you know, I a couple of videos I had stated that before she had left this last time to go back on the 30th, she had did laundry at her mom's house with Maleah there. Now that's the last time the grandma has seen Maleah, but let's look into the last time that maybe a daycare or anybody else has seen Maleah. Like, when was the last time that anybody besides Maleah Brittany or Darion saw Maleah? Well, I don't know all of that, but I do know the last time that the daycare says that they saw Maleah. Let's take a look at that now, you guys.
We do know the stepdad and Maleah's mom have been banned from contacting their kids.
What does all this mean? Cheryl Mercedes has that part of the investigation.
But first, Jason Miles got exclusive access to Maleah's daycare, and they say they haven't seen her since last month. Jason?
That's right, guys. I'm in the parking lot where today's developments took place here in Missouri City. That preschool is near the family's home in A-Leaf, and folks at the preschool consider themselves family too. A cubby marked with 4-year-old Maleah Davis's name awaits her return.
She got along with all the kids. She kept a smile on her face for the most part.
Staff and students at Attitude, Respect, and Manners Learning Center say the 4-year-old was filled with energy, love, and joy.
She got along with all the kids. She kept a smile on her face for the most part.
Manager Rashonda Hines says Maleah couldn't play outside due to a recent brain surgery and had to keep her head covered. Flyers seeking information on her disappearance now hang inside and outside the center. When you see those photos now on those flyers, what do you think?
Sad.
Students here are too young to comprehend what's going on with their friend.
Do you miss her? What do you miss?
Maleah.
Do you want to see her again?
Yeah.
The center's records show Maleah was last here on April 26th, a week before her stepfather claims she was kidnapped by 3 men who attacked him on May 3rd. Hines says Darion Vence picked up another child earlier that very same day.
All the kids asking about her. The parents, you know, they shocked that she go here and she's missing, you know. A child we see daily.
A child they pray they'll see again.
Now, Darion has been gone since Sunday after speaking with the police for allegedly 8-hour interrogation where, you know, those crime scene pictures of his alleged wounds were taken. Now, he hasn't shown up for work or anything and pretty much disappeared. The police have named him a person of interest. However, I would expect that a warrant would be issued very shortly here, if it has not already by the time that this video comes out, because he just pretty much vanished, has not been working with police to help aid in finding Maleah, and it's just ridiculous. Now, I did want to point out one thing, that the first picture is allegedly the crime scene photo that was took by the police, but the other one is also one that was taken by police, and the wounds do not look same at all, unless there was just dried blood on there or something. Again, he could have easily obtained this by you know, wounds that he sustained from Maleah when he did whatever he did, or also self-inflicted wounds. He could have very well just bashed his head into anything to obtain this head wound, and or any of these other wounds that he has on his body. Most of these marks are scratches, okay? They look like very little scratches. Somebody said something about maybe he hid the body by some barbed wire or in some bushes in the woods or something. He very well could have also obtained these wounds in that type of situation, but they don't look like wounds that you would have gotten from fighting any males. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, he was fighting 3 Hispanic males, and I'm just not buying that either. Since day one, I just felt like his whole story is kind of pushing to that, oh, some illegal immigrants did it, and this is where they drop me off conveniently very close to a route to Mexico. I'm just not buying that shit. This looks like he was attempting to attack somebody, maybe even sexually, physically, possibly, definitely. But I feel like this man was obsessed with Maleah in a very sexual way, a pedophilic way, and I feel like he did something, and in the commission of doing that, she died. I also believe that he was physically abusing Maleah as well as the mother, but I don't really care about, not necessarily Brittany, but if you don't have enough sense to like get out of that situation. I was in a domestic abuse situation with my ex-husband, and I saw the signs that, I need to get out of here. And what if he starts doing this to my children? You see what I'm saying? So I'm not buying that, oh, I was a victim too type of shit, and they're beefing, but you go out of town pretty much throughout the month of April, or a big chunk, and you thought that it would still be okay to leave him with your child that has had several brain injuries and in desperate need of medical attention at this time. However, we can't locate her. Your boyfriend, alleged, a husband, which is a lie, it has disappeared, never helped really with the police besides the 8-hour interrogation, when he felt like he could just tell the police whatever they wanted to hear or whatever would help him get off the hook. I'm not buying it. I really am upset about the Quanell X situation. I feel like he's an opportunist, and he, just like Jesse Jackson or Al Sharpton, jump at the chance to have their face in the spotlight, but kids are killed in the hood on a day-to-day basis by stray bullets, and you can't find these fools anywhere. You can't find them anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Several things happen on a day-to-day basis. When the news gives you a story, trust and believe there's 3 other ones just like it that you have not heard yet, because they were not allegedly important enough to be brought to you. And this is what happens every day. You see what I'm saying? Some of the things that I brought on my page was things that nobody had really ever heard of until I had, and others had shed light on it. You see what I'm saying? And that's sad. But you want me to believe that Quanell X has the best intentions here and all this and that, and he's totally just buying her story? Nah, Quanell X needs to, instead of having a press conference and try to blame it all on Darion, which Darion is very essential in this, but none of this really would have happened. But to say that the mother had no way of knowing this or anything like that is bullshit. The CPS complaints came out only when Darion was involved. You see what I'm saying? And she essentially had 6 months without her children. Then her kids were placed back in February in her care. There is a custody hearing. I don't know what's going to happen to that, but it was May 22nd, coming up very shortly in a couple of weeks here, to decide if Craig or Brittany would get custody of Maleah and her older brother. And I just think that they know more about this. Now, these pictures are what Maleah's injuries sustained. Look at how her face is all swollen from the alleged, falling off of a chair and all that. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. Repeatedly, this child was rushed to the hospital over a course of a couple of weeks, a few weeks, maybe a month. They didn't remove this child because, Brittany just happened to turn her head at the wrong moment. They don't remove your child for 6 months, and your child does not sustain these type of injuries because she just allegedly fell off of a chair. I'm not buying it. I think that it's suspect that her daughter comes up missing just weeks before a court hearing that would essentially wipe her of her whole parental rights of this child. Because in my opinion, I don't know the biological dad very well, but in my opinion, he had a really good case ahead of him with his daughter receiving these injuries in the care of Brittany and Darion. I don't feel like in any way, shape, or form the mother can play the victim in this case. You see what I'm saying? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. This child was failed by several people. The grandmother could have, you know what I mean, helped with the child. Allegedly, Brittany has all these family members that can help and all this and that, but where were they when she needed to go and be there for her dad? I'm not blaming her for being there for her dad, but she could have very well took her child with, or made sure that, you know, this upstanding family that she has had her daughter during that time. I would never leave my child with somebody that, you know what I mean, is abusing me, and I'm gonna go to a whole nother state. And then also, you know what I'm saying, like, we're in an argument, so there's all these type of feelings. You don't know what nobody would do in the course of an argument, and this is about your child. Like, this is not a game. You know what I'm saying? With that said, royal family, I apologize if my emotions came out in this video. I've done my best to contain it. However, this just pissed me off royally. I just don't get it. I don't get how, you know, Brittany is going to sit here and act like she's a victim, and this Quanell guy is going to run to her defense and try to minimize the situation. I heard the press asking very valuable situations, you know, asking very valuable questions in this situation, and basically he just shushed them away. Like, those questions don't matter. Like, the public isn't demanding these questions, and I'm not supporting Brittany. I never did. I feel like she knew very well what was going on. I feel like to them, Maleah was a problem child, and they wanted to get rid of her, and that's what they did. And Brittany moved out of the way so that the stepdad could do what she needed to do. And then when the stepdad left Brittany hanging, then she decided to run and go play the victim. That's my take on it so far. I will continue to bring you updates in this story as they break. Again, I do apologize for any emotion. Normally I'm able to contain myself, but in some situations, some cases just really piss me off, and it bothers me, and that's the mother bear coming out of me. So with that said, royal family, stay you, stay woke, stay uncompromisable, stay royal, and I will see you in another video. Much love. Oh, last but not least, let's also remember that Brittany had her time to speak to the media and clarify anything, and she did not take that option. So again, I'm not buying the whole victim. Bye.